Hey guys, what is going on? And welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 40, and here's what's coming up in today's episode. It's perhaps the biggest game of the season. Top place second as we take on Spurs here at Craven Cottage with just 10 games to go in the Premier League season. And Tom tackled by Dennis Suarez, and now that is not what we want to see. Kearney hits the deck and stays down as well. 53-71 overall, 80-94 potential. He looks very good indeed. Get in my academy. So, lots to get through in today's episode. I'm going to start the episode by finding out I got some tournament prize money here after beating Wolves in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup in the last game in the last episode away at Molineux. And also see the match rescheduled email there. We now will find out our opponents for the FA Cup semi-finals, where Fulham will be taking on, in the last four, Liverpool. At Wembley, West Brom vs Arsenal is the other tie. So Arsenal beat Manchester United in the quarterfinals, and Liverpool beat Cardiff, and West Brom beat Everton. So Liverpool in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. They won the Premier League last year. They're going for the FA Cup this season. We'll try and knock them out though and get through to the final. That's going to be a tough tie, that. So jumping into the first game of today's episode, it's perhaps the biggest game of the season. Top place second as we take on Spurs here at Craven Cottage with just 10 games to go in the Premier League season. Right now 6 points clear of Poch's boys. A win in this game will send us 9 points clear with 9 games to go, but a Spurs win will see the gap cut to just 3 points. We're lining up in our best 4-3-3 with Sancho on the left, Neres on the right, and Balotelli the striker. But as for the Spurs team, who really can't afford to lose this game, they're lining up in a 4-2-3-1 and a fantastic midfield and attack with Son on the left, Moore on the right, Eriksen the cam, and Harry Kane the striker.
We've got an excellent defensive side with the best defensive stats in the league against the side that scores the most goals. It's an intriguing prospect.
Walking into the ground, I couldn't make up my mind how this match was going to pan out with those two teams, the best defence against the high scoring visitors. Fascinating.
So we can start this from Fulham. Got Spurs right now sort of penned in their own half. As Kearney on the turn, finds space to shoot and deflects off Harry Maguire and goes behind for a corner. Good start this from the host, looking for an early goal. Can we get it here? Corners the centre, headed away. Thiago clears still 0-0 at Spurs right now. They can't escape, they're trapped in their own half. Unfamiliar territory this for Spurs inside our half for the first time in the half as Sidibe down the right hand side tries to get around Skriniar and does. And a great cross, and Kane had a great chance there with Spurs to go in front. The header was tame though, and Rico claims it comfortably. Still 0-0. That's their first sighted goal, and he almost scored from it. Another corner for Fulham here right before the break. Can we finally take advantage of all our first half pressure? Kearney's delivery into Mario Balotelli, and there it is. He hadn't scored a goal for quite some time, but now it's 2-2 as Mario puts us in front. Fulham 1, Spurs 0, and dares to break through. Such a frustrating first half because we've had Spurs penned in their own half for the entirety of it for the most part, and finally, after attack where the shots kept getting blocked or the final balls were cut out, a corner to the centre is nodded in by our top scorer. 1-0 Fulham, we are in front, and Spurs, if they lose this game, they'll be 9 points behind with 9 games to go. It'll be tough to make up that deficit as Jadon Sancho gets away from his man down left hand side, and a chance here to go 2 goals up right before half time. Neres at the far post, headed away, chance still alive though, in it comes, Kearney over his head. Lloris makes the save. If Spurs lose this game, I'm not sure they'll recover from it. 25 minutes to go, still down by 1. Plenty of time, they need a chance, they need a goal. Sidibe down the right hand side, great cross the middle, and Kane is there. And he's had their best chances, but his headers have been comfortably caught by Rico both times. Harry Kane for Spurs there, brightest spark today. Lucas Moura's cross, Eriksen flicks back, Modric tries his luck just wide. They're starting to attack now, they're coming. They've got 18 minutes to go, can they find an equaliser? Son sent down left hand side, great first touch to beat Tarkowski. The cross isn't bad either, and Ryan does well as Fosu-Mensah keeps it in play and clears it to Jay. Still the lead is 1, but finally Spurs, they've taken a while, but finally now they're starting to attack and get chances. Is it going to be a little bit too late though, as Ryan on the ball steps around his man and finds Jay, and a chance here to get a second goal and rack the points up. Baker storming forward, feeds it inside, it's Mario Balotelli! who should have wrapped the points up. Tried to dink it over the Frenchman, but did not get the technique right, way over the bar. But still 1-0. And as Sander finds Jay, we're looking for the kill here. We're looking for the dagger. Bacon to Calvert-Lewin as the subs link up. It's Dominic stepping inside. He'll dink onto the edge. Mario Balotelli again puts it just off target. He's got a touch for the flair, but just can't find the back of net for a second time. And that should do it. Final score, Fulham 1, Spurs 0, and a massive victory in the battle for the title. 9 games to go, 9 points clear. It's ours to lose now. Fulham 1, Spurs 0. The title is within our sights. Spurs just took far too long before starting to attack us in this game. It was like they were just trying to weather the storm for as long as they could and then start hitting us. That was never going to work here at Craven Cottage with us having the best home record in the league. Man match Kearney though, got the assist with the goal of a lovely corner, was our best player I thought. A 9.0 for the captain and 9 points clear with 9 games to go. I'll say it again, this title is ours to lose. You look at the teams that are chasing below Spurs as well. You've got Bournemouth in 3rd on 52 points, Liverpool in 4th with 50 points, City in 5th with 50 points. I don't think those teams are going to catch up now. I think if anyone's going to catch us, it's going to be Spurs, and they're 9 points behind now with 9 games to go. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. But for our second game today, we do see that one of our youth players wants to terminate his contract. That is Justin de Wit, a Dutch count we've seen a few times. Looks very good indeed. 56 overall, 8187 potential. I never like to promote players until they hit 60 overall, so we can check their potential for definite. We'll give him a pro deal though, and check his weak foot and skill moves. I do hope that next year EA changed that, and you can check a youth player's potential before they hit 60 overall, because so many come out of the academy in the 50s. But de Wit, as we can see, CAM and CM listed positions with 5-star skill moves and 3-star weak foot with medium work rates as well. So moving on to the second game of today's episode, as we now take on Newcastle United away at St James's Park. The Magpies lining up in a 4-4-1-1 with Ioza Perez, their cam, and Muto, their striker tonight. But as for our team, why change with a winning formula? It's our most consistent lineup throughout the course of the season, and right now it's the top of the table with 9 points to go. So no changes, our 4-3-3 with Sancho on the left, Neres on the right, and Balotelli back to form, leading the line. Neres through to Kearney down the right hand side. And Tom tackled by Dennis Suarez, and oh, now that is not what we want to see. Kearney hits the deck and stays down as well. He is back to his feet now. You can see he's hobbling a little bit there. We cannot afford to see our captain injured with so many crucial games to come in 3 different competitions as Mario heads our first chance wide from the free kick. That's a big worry there. Thankfully, the captain has ran it off. Thank goodness for that. Cannot afford to see Kearney go down. One of our most influential players. We don't want him missing for those PSG games in the quarters of the Champions League. No way. And here he is on the ball, back to full health. As Balotelli feeds him through, and he'll play a good ball out wide towards Neres, and Neres inside Balotelli, 1-0. And there is the breakthrough. It's 3 in 3 for Mario Balotelli, who says that bad run of form was just a blip. I'm back to my best. 1-0 up, and there's the breakthrough. And Kearney wins it back again as well. He is just so important to this team, man. As Seri driving the team forward, releases Balotelli, chance for a quick fire double. He stops, he turns, he shoots, and he scores 2 goals in 3 minutes for Super Mario. Newcastle 0, Fulham 2, and how demoralising must that be for our hosts today? They were defending really well for the first half an hour, but 2 quick fire goals, and they're in a real pickle right before the break. Lovely ball by Seri. Balotelli takes his time, opens up his body, and finds the bottom corner. 14 for the year, and his crisis in form is completely over. Richarlison down the right, looking to feed it into Brian. And now Brian on the turn, looking for a navy shirt, finds Jadon Sancho, and Sancho to Sessegnon. Nice build-up, Ryan on the ball, crosses to Richarlison. Oh, look at the time for Richarlison, but the Dubravka shuts down the Brazilian and prevents him from getting his second goal for the club. Great stop there, as it's still 2-0. Should have been 3, as Balotelli's header is easily caught. Not going to matter though, because that will do it. Final score at St James's Park, and Balotelli's brace sinks the Magpies. Final score, Newcastle United 0, Fulham Fulham 2, and another win as we continue our hunt for that title. And as it's now the first of the month, there is more youth scouting to take a look at, and from Slovakia, how about this talent right here? Branislav Reznik, 53-71 overall, 80-94 potential. He looks very good indeed. Get in my academy. And just the one player from Sweden is going to make it as well. That's Nicholas Eklund, who also looks very good indeed. The rest of these guys right here will continue scouting on for another month. And as for Mexico, no one making the cut this time around, as we'll continue to scout these 5 players for yet another month. So let's take a look at our academy then, as we have just 1 month left of competitive football to play. And we can see, 2 months even, and we can see how the players are getting on in our academy. I still can't get over Marvin Janssen, man. I've wanted to promote this guy since he finally hit 60 overall, but he's still 15 years old. So frustrating, but so many amazing talents in this academy right now. Our youth squad is just absolutely stacked. And just before we dive into the third and final game on today's episode, a brief look at the Premier League table, where as you can see, Spurs must have slipped up, and they did indeed. They drew at home to Everton in their game in hand, which means that right now we are 11 points clear with 8 games to go. Throw this title away and it's the biggest choke of all time. It's surely ours. And we can take yet another massive step towards it with a win in our third and final game of today's episode. The first game of the month, Watford away at Vicarage Road, lining up in a 4-4-2. A great team as well. Delafeu on the left, Success on the right, and Andre Gray and Zé Luis, their strike partnership. But as for our team, with this game coming just a few days before the first leg of the Champions League quarter-final against PSG, we're rotating a lot of our team for this game and giving some fringe players some chances away against the Hornets, as our front three now is Hudson-Odoi on the left, Neres on the right, but Balotelli will continue to start in the striker role. I'm noticing Watford are playing a really high pressing game in this match here, and their defensive line is incredibly high as well. If they do that for the rest of the game, they're going to be in a lot of trouble, because we've got the passes and the movement in this team to find the open man and also find a breakthrough, and we should have done right there. Jay Baker sent forward one-on-one with the weaker left foot, fires it into the side netting. We should be a goal up. Their team is good, but you can't play this way against us and expect to get a result. We will break them down. We may still be tied at 0-0 33 minutes in, but mark my words, we'll get a goal or 2 this afternoon, and I'd imagine that'll be enough for us to get the win. Watch this, all the yellow shirts chasing down the man in possession. If they keep doing that, there'll be so much space in midfield for us to work the ball through and find the open man. Here we go, Jay storming forward here, rolls down left towards Hudson-Odoi, and Callum continues to run. Jay's on the edge, he'll pick him out, it's Jay Baker, and this time he doesn't miss the target. Baker makes it 1-0, and it was coming. You can't play that way against us and beat us. 1-0, Fulham in front right before the break. Did you see the amount of space we had in midfield to find the open man and drive forward to play it forward to the front three? Hudson-Odoi and Baker play a 1-2. Jay is released, and the 18-year-old gets his second goal in the Premier League this year. 1-0, and we could score 2, 3, 4 goals today if they continue to play like that. If we stay on attack mode and keep our foot on the gas pedal, we'll get a few more today, no doubt. I just really wish that the AI would change their tactics based on how you play as well to make it more difficult for you. It's not about the gameplay mechanics, it's just the fact that the teams will play the exact same way game after game, regardless of who you are and what sort of team you play and what sort of tactics you deploy as well. As Balotelli's header goes wide of the post, it's one of the big letdowns about FIFA career mode. When you play the opposition team, they play the exact same way regardless of their opponents, and it's really frustrating, so it becomes very easy to counter that. Just won a corner in the final minute of stoppage time. Can they claim a point from this and get themselves an equaliser? And it goes, and Delafeu hits the post, and the rebound shot is blocked by Zambo, and Sergio Rico prevents another corner. Watford almost nicking a point right at the death. The Spaniard denied by the woodwork, but that will do it. Another big win for Fulham. Watford 0, Fulham 1, as we edge ever closer to that Premier League title. It was an interesting game, this one, because the stats will show that it was quite a balanced match, but it really wasn't. Because of the way we played in this game against Watford's high-pressing team, we had a lot more of the ball, and for the most part, we were able to pick them apart, and that's how we got our goal. So 1-0 the final score, and I'll give man of the match the game winner as well, Mr. Jay Baker. The 18-year-old continues to impress whenever he's on the pitch. We said we'd give him more minutes this season, and he has not let us down, has he? So 1-0 the final score. Spurs do keep the pressure on with a win over West Brom, but it looks like with just a few games to go, it is still our title to lose. But that will end today's episode of Career Mode, guys. So a big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy today's episode, then please do drop a like, as likes are of course very appreciated, and you really like the channel out as well. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and don't miss the next episode where you'll see both legs of our Champions League quarter-final against the French giants Paris Saint-Germain. Bye now.